Hey!
Hi!
Woo!
We're back!
It's a new subject now we're going to be discussing.
Yay!
Oh, Ms. Harkin, I'm so excited.
God, this is one of my favorites.
This is the Henning and Harkin tutorial on
Atomic structure!
Yes! Woohoo! All right, here we go. Let's see if we can move on. There we go.
Okay.
3 things here we're going to talk about. We want, of course, Ms. Harkin, put it in this notebook.
Yes. Have out your lab notebook. Write your stuff down.
Yep. So let's do the basics of an atom. And that requires us to know a little bit about the periodic table.
Periodic table is one of my favorite things. So you should find one at your lab station.
Yeah.
Or
somewhere close by you, there should be a periodic table.
Yes.
Yep. That's laminated. Is yours laminated?
I think mine are laminated.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And colorful.
I know they're so pretty.
Yeah. So if you look at this, of course, it's called the periodic table of elements.
Ooh, what's an element? Gosh.
So, geez, an element is basically the simplest part of everything in the universe. Wow. I know.
So this table has everything on it.
That everything is made up of.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is. And when we break down an element, you know what we get, Ms. Harkin?
Maybe an atom?
An atom!
Yay!
You are so right. An atom, which is really the smallest part of an element that still has all the characteristics of that element.
I wonder if I could see an atom. If I look at my hair, can I see the atoms that make that up?
Ms. Harkin, too small.
Too small. My eyes aren't that good.
No.
I have glasses, but no.
In fact, until just last year, nobody had ever even seen an atom. It was so tiny.
So tiny.
Yeah. And then if you look at that periodic table of elements made up of all these atoms, you will notice they're made of symbols or it's abbreviation.
Yeah, and the abbreviation's usually something to do with its name, or if it doesn't match, like you're like, why does it have those symbols? It's probably from its Latin name. Usually that's how an element gets its symbols.
Yep. Awesome. Let's move on. Oh, 3
Yeah.
parts. Now we're going to look inside of those tiny little atoms. And this should be just a review. You should remember, the 3 basic parts: protons, neutrons, electrons.
Yep, you should have learned that already.
And if you look at that periodic table, there's a number. Well, there's 2 numbers, really.
Yes.
But the biggest number is the atomic number, which tells us how many protons are in that atom.
And the whole table's organized by the number of protons that an element has.
Beautiful. So we're going to take a look at just 2 of those 3 parts right now. And we are going to notice that those parts are in the nucleus.
Yes, the nucleus is that center part right there where the red and little black circles are on that picture. I think of that as like our house. That's where these 2 parts live. And the 2 parts that are in there are your protons and your neutrons.
Yep. And what I really like to remember about those protons and neutrons, because they're in the house, they can't leave.
Nope, they're under house arrest. They cannot get out.
They cannot. It's like grounded.
Yeah. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Can't leave.
Yep. And then you'll notice that we've represented those protons with a P and a plus sign. That's because scientists have recognized that those protons have a positive charge.
Yes, they're positive. And then if you look at the little N in the black circle, that kind of has like a 0 next to it. So they have a neutral charge. There's no charge on the neutrons.
And chargers are going to be really important because we're starting electricity.
Woo!
And we need to understand about these charges because that's really what causes electricity.
Yes.
Let's move on. Oh, what's that one? Oh, yeah. On the periodic table, the nucleus is symbolized by the atomic mass.
Yep.
And we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, electrons!
Yay, the 3rd part.
And we'll put some fun pictures here on here. So electrons are what's moving around the nucleus.
I like to think of the electrons as like a crazy dog that are running around the outside of your house, and it just runs all the way around.
Never stops.
Never stops.
Never, ever stops. So the electrons are what's moving, which is what creates electricity.
Whoa, I think I could remember that.
Well, look at that word electrons and electricity. Holy buckets, I think we're on to something.
I think we got it.
Yep. So you will see in this model with the blue dot in the middle, that's supposed to be the nucleus, right, Ms.
Yep,
Harkin?
that's the nucleus, where my protons and neutrons are at.
Right. And those yellow dots on the outside, what are those, do you think?
I bet those are my electrons.
I think they're electrons. So the kind of false thing about that model is they look like they're stuck, but they're really moving.
Yep, we have a picture coming up where they're moving.
Yep. So the atomic number, which remember we learned was the number of protons, is also the number of electrons.
Right, because electrons are negative.
Yep.
So if I have so many positives and so many negatives, I want those to equal each other. So I
Which,
get,
yeah, I think that's the next
oh,
slide.
I got ahead of myself.
Ms. Harkin,
What?
you
Just
are
so
all
excited
over-
about
yes.
atoms. Yes.
So, when we look at electricity, we are knowing it's about these electrons interacting with each other. And it doesn't matter what kind of atom it is,
Nope.
it's always about the electrons. And they're
Yes.
moving not only within the atom itself, but between different kinds of atoms.
And they're the only ones that are going to move.
Oh, look, now this one,
moving.
it's moving. The electrons are moving. And you're going to see every atom on the periodic table starts with no charge.
Right.
What do you think that is a reason for, Ms. Harkin?
I don't know. I think that maybe they have no charge because that's how they're like the most stable.
Yes. And if you notice, like here, remember the atomic number is equal to the number of protons and electrons.
Yes.
So the number of protons are all positive, and the number of electrons are all negative. We love you, Miss Subata.
So if you add together your positives and your negatives, they should cancel each other out. Oh my gosh, is this math?
Oh, no. Yes, it is. We do a
Yes.
lot of that in science.
You know, math and science are like besties.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Atomic number, we kind of reviewed all this, equals the number of protons in the nucleus and
Electrons.
electrons also. And we see it on the periodic table. Well, this is kind of reviewing. We
Yep,
already
a
said
little
this,
bit.
Ms. Harkin. And so we're going to show you. Oh, look, here it is. Nice little arrow.
Yep.
There's the atomic number, which tells us the number of protons and the number of electrons.
And I always remember it's the number that's not a decimal point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like that 12.01.
Yeah.
That's not the one.
That's not
I
it.
like that
No,
clue.
yep.
And sometimes different periodic tables make that arrangement a little different. So you just got to recognize that one of them is the atomic number, one's the atomic mass. And usually there's a key to it.
Yeah, usually there's a key.
And speaking of atomic mass, where would that be on this little symbol? Well, there's that arrow.
Bam, right there.
Yep.
So the atomic mass, remember, is your number of protons and your number of neutrons
Added together.
added together.
Because that math thing, you know.
You got to put them together.
Yes.
So this is really telling us that the protons and neutrons make up the whole mass of the atom. And the
Yeah.
electrons,
Don't weigh anything.
They don't really weigh
They don't
anything.
have any matter to them at all.
No.
So we know that when we take 6 protons and add it to the number of neutrons, it's got to equal that atomic mass.
yeah, so I'm thinking the neutrons for carbon probably have a mass of 6.011.
Yeah, that's right. Nice.
Okay, we're getting there.
You did your math right there. Yeah, let's move on. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's pointing to the nucleus there.
The nucleus,
Yeah,
yep.
that's where all the mass comes from. Yep. Oh, a quiz.
What?
I think it's just kind of practice,
I
don't
think it's
you?
practice,
Yeah.
yep.
So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your Google Classroom and you're going to see a PhET simulation
Yep.
that helps you build an atom. And so if you will go, you can stop watching this right now and you can go to your Google Classroom and then click on that assignment that says build an atom.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Bye.